Hello, everyone. I'm Jane Lynn Britton of Navigate Autism, and today we're going to talk about messy. What is messy? And can we look at that as something else? So, I'm actually sitting here in the room that we turned into a playroom for William, and it is so messy. William has brought in a Monopoly game and dumped it out everywhere. Somewhere he found my husband's Santa Claus suit, and there's a hat, a beard, and hair on the floor. There are crayons everywhere. There are little cutouts and stickers everywhere. And my first reaction is, oh my gosh, what did you do? Right? And then, oh my gosh, you are definitely going to help me clean this up. And then as I kind of go through this thought process in my head, I get to the point where I say, wait a second, this is actually pretty cool. So why is that, right? Why would I say that? And how do I get to that point? Well, the reason I say that is because I've been trying to show William how to be independent. That's really my goal for him. I want him to be independent. I want him to find things to do by himself. I want him to have leisure skills, something to do for leisure time, to do projects by himself, etc. And he's not going to do that if I'm always with him, telling him what to do. Now, you've probably heard me talking on these pod tips that we don't do electronics or very, very little because I really want him to be social, learn how to interact with other people. And I don't really like his behaviors after he's been on his iPad or watching TV. So we limit that to virtually nothing. So what is he going to do in that time, or in the times especially when I cannot be with him or don't want to? I want him to build those skills. So he needs to learn to do things on his own. My first reaction is, I think, as we all are, like, oh my gosh. And it makes me think of a few weeks ago, I was outside with my dog. I am often alone with William and my dog for the whole day. I have to take care of my dog. I'm going outside. And I come back in and William is on the couch with paint. And the couch is red and green, and William is red and green and so proud of himself. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what did you just do? Right? That's my first reaction. Then I go, all right, you're so going to help me clean this up. And then I got to the point where I said, oh my goodness, look at you. You knew to go into the cabinet where we have the paint. You knew to bring it out. And of course, I wish he had not done it in the den on the couch, but he was able to unscrew the top, and he was very sensory. He wanted to rub it on his hands, so he poured it all over his hands and the couch. But then he put the top back on. He put the paint back in the box. And when I saw him, he looked at me. He knew I wasn't completely happy, and he took the box and put it back in the cabinet. So, wow, all that cognitive ability that was taking place, even though there was an aspect, a pretty big aspect, I wasn't happy about. So what I've been trying to do is shift my focus into, wow, what's the opportunity here? So as an example, what if you think about an example that you've recently had with your child and you walked in on a huge mess? What would happen if instead of you responding in the way you did, if you said, wow, this is awesome. Look at you. Look at you doing an activity on your own, doing a project on your own, and then going one step further and saying, oh, let me show you now how you can do it without as much of a mess. Like for me with the paint, maybe let me show you how to do it without getting it all over the couch. Or let me show you how to do this game called Monopoly without throwing it all over the floor. Or let me show you what these pieces are, and let's give it a practical use. Or let's use because often he'll use his scissors and tape and want to cut things up. And I'll be like, let's take all these things you've just cut. He will literally create confetti. Let's take all these pieces and put it into a collage with some tape. And so not only does that make it a little bit easier for us to handle because we're now looking at it from a more of a grateful and more gratitude-filled space, but we are turning it into a positive interaction with our children, turning it into something that feels good. And if there's a learning, like don't dump the pit all over the couch or don't dump the game all over the floor. Hey, let me show you how we actually do it in a fun, inspirational, collaborative way. And I invite you to try that. I have been doing that. And I do see with William, he goes from I think I'm in trouble look to, oh, wow, what's going on with mom? This is kind of curious to, wow, let me engage. And I'm really excited. And then I see him start to transfer those skills to actually doing it by himself when he does have time alone. So have fun with that. And hopefully you'll find that it brings you a little bit more peace of mind, as well as finding a different way to shift going from that messy look and feel to a more busy look and feel, which actually are steps towards independence with a little bit of love and inspiration on our part in between. Have fun, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Take care.